Golly, somebody's popping shots, boys. Oh my golly. Oh. Alright guys, pulling out of the neighborhood here. I'm finally doing my review of the Stratified tune. I've had it installed for...
Turn right onto US 90 alternate east.
Zip your lip, Siri. So I've had this bad boy installed, or flashed, I guess you could say, because it's not a physical part, it's software. I've had it installed for about, I said installed again, I've had it flashed to the ECU through the cob access port, the Stratified tune, for about a month and a half now. And I've got some very strong opinions about it. So, first of all, I have had the MA Performance Stage 1 tune, and I have had the Cobb Over the Shelf Stage 1 tune, as well as the Stage 2 and the Stage 3 tune from Cobb Access, from Cobb. Probably getting those crackles and pops. I really hope that mic is picking it up. Let me turn the AC down a little bit so you can get more sound out of it. But, yeah, so with this tune, I did opt, it was an extra $20 for the crackles and pops, which also supposedly makes your gas mileage a little bit not as good because you have unburned fuel that's left in the fuel system, and that's how you get the crackles and pops and potentially even flames from the exhaust if you do have a catless downpipe like your boy does. So by the way, I am driving to an open house showing, or not an open house because due to COVID we're not doing that right now, but it's a showing as my house is now under contract and I need to get myself a new residence. So the torque is extremely good from about I'd say about 1800 to 2000 RPMs. Anything above that, you can be basically lugging in a high gear. You can be in 6th gear at like 40 miles an hour. Oh shit, I gotta lick the suction cup. I didn't have it wet enough, boys. That's always a problem, isn't it? There we go. That should be better. All right. It's probably gonna fall again, but fuck it. So when you're just cruising in drive, you don't get any crackles and pops. That's tuned in to where it only kicks in sport mode and when you switch over into manual mode. And also I have the TCU, transmission control unit, flashed as well as the ECU. So the DSG is flashed as well, which gives it more clamping force, which is good because once you get stage 2 or above, you either need an upgraded clutch if you are in manual configuration, or if you are in the DSG or dual clutch, which is this bad boy here, then you need to flash your DSG to get better clamping force so you don't wear out your clutches on the old dual clutch. But also you get a gear indicator in every driving mode, so drive, sport, and manual, and you also get different shift points for drive and sport. And part of the tune is that it works in conjunction with that, to where in sport and drive, or in drive, you basically get a very quiet experience. There's no crackles and pops. The exhaust note's very tame. And then in sport and manual, you get all the crackles and pops and all that good stuff, which is really, really awesome because you can kind of pick and choose. If you're just commuting to work or you're on a long road trip, you don't want any drone or anything. And this car has virtually no drone. Like right now I'm cruising at 50 miles an hour. It's very quiet in the cabin. It sounds almost as quiet as stock. All right, we'll do a 3rd gear at 3000 RPMs. So I've had several tunes through the Cobb access port, and that's the beauty of this. Unlike, you know, APR or Unitronic, where each time you want a new tune, you have to take it back to their physical location to get flashed. Unitronic does have an option to flash from home, but it's not as robust and versatile as the Cobb access port, where I have my 6 gauges here with my boost and my air fuel and all that other crap. And also you can have 100 tunes stored in here at a time, and literally you just park somewhere, turn the motor off, but keep the ignition and accessory, reflash your tune, and you can literally switch tunes on the fly, not only for the ECU, but the TCU as well. So if I want, you know, sport transmission, and then I go to the track and I want a very aggressive transmission that holds gears and, you know, stuff like that, I have that option as well, which is really, really kick-ass. But yeah, overall, I absolutely fucking love this tune so far. So here's what I'll say. I have done reviews of my previous tunes. MA Performance talked a big game. They were saying like 300 wheel horse and about 320 wheel torque. It didn't feel like that at all. It felt like it was in the high 200s and the torque was around 300. This actually feels every bit of what is advertised and then some. So very nice. And she's quick, boys. She's quick. So what I do notice about this tune is that a lot of GTI tunes will either have power in the low end or the high end. This literally, like I said, has torque from around 2,000 RPM and then just continues to pull all the way to redline of 6,500, or redline 6,000, but it doesn't really smack the rev limiter until 6,500. Speaking of which, with the TCU tune, it will just bounce off the rev limiter over and over and over again until you shift up with the paddles. It will not. Well, that's only when you're in manual mode. Before, if you were in manual mode and you hit the rev limiter, it would just switch up for you, and it doesn't do that anymore, which is really, really awesome. People are looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm recording. Golly! Somebody's popping shots, boys. Here, I'm gonna crack the window so we can get some crackles and pops here, boys. Let me turn off the AC. Radar's going off. That means there might be a popo up here, so we'll take it easy. Just the fact that you get really good sound when you're driving aggressively, but then when you're just cruising, it's damn near stock. It sounds damn near stock. That is fucking awesome. It's the best of both worlds, because when I had the Civic Si, it was completely loud like all the time, which I'm not a huge fan of. Oh my golly. Oh, and from the higher RPMs, it does have more pull than down low. I will say that for sure. Like, I'm just gouging the throttle a little bit. I'm not staying in it because there's this, you know, nutsack in front of me. But man, it's very, very quick. Now, what I do need to do with this tune is get some dyno numbers. I need to get this on the dyno so I can do a few pulls there, so I can see exactly where the power curve is for both torque and, oh, a doggy, hey buddy. For both horsepower and torque, so I know exactly, you know, if I'm gonna race, where I should be, you know, holding my RPMs and stuff like that, where the power band is basically in this car. But right now it seems like, you know, 2,000, you're getting some pretty respectable power, and then, you know, anything above 4, between 4 and redline is, you know, it feels like peak power to me. So that's just from the butt dyno. But again, until I actually get it on the dyno, I won't know for sure. But yeah, hopefully I find myself a good house, because I've been looking around for a while. I definitely want to make sure I have another house lined up before I close, because, well, I don't want to be homeless, or I don't want to be staying in a hotel or anything with my shit in storage. So that's how that plays out. Really wasn't very far from my house at all. All right, so I might cut the camera when I pull into here, just because I don't want to be recording in these people's nice private neighborhood. But I will be continuing this when I get back on the road. Ooh, a nice little twisty in here. I like that. All right, guys.